morning, everyone. Just getting myself organized, and welcome to another Monday morning musing webinar. I'm Sandra Madaffrey. For those that don't know me, I'll wait for a few of you to jump on. How are you? A little bit running a little bit, just a fraction late this morning. I am actually officially on a mini break, but just thought that I would continue with these for today. So I will share the screen as I do every week. I will have the chat box up, so please do say hello and do ask any questions. And let's get started. Again, thank you so much for being here. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about creating routines for business success. Routines are really important to us as humans because they make us feel comfortable. So being able to have routines for yourself personally as well as in your business are just imperative for you to be able to move forward with everything that you do. So let's have a look. What is a routine to start with? And this has come straight from the encyclopedia. A customary or regular course of procedure. Hi, Carolyn. A commonplace tasks, chores or duties as must be done regularly or at specific intervals, typical or everyday activity. So a routine is something that you do all the time. It becomes part of who you are. We create routines in our life without even actually thinking about them. But unfortunately, sometimes those routines are not routines that serve us. I know one of the routines that I created not long, probably a couple of years ago, was actually snacking in front of the TV at night. And, you do it once, you do it twice, you do it a few times, it becomes part of who you are. So what we're going to look at today is how can we create some things in your life, some procedures, some regularity, some duties, some tasks, whatever you want to call them in your life that actually work towards you. And again, what is a routine? Regular, unvarying, habitual, unimaginative, or a route procedure. So if it's if you have a look at this and it's something that is habitual and unimaginative, it's something you don't even have to think about. The great thing about creating a routine that serves you, that works in your favor, is that you don't think about it. It just becomes part of who you are. I mean, we often watch movies and things like that of people, they get out of bed, they walk over into the kitchen, they put their coffee on. In these days, a lot of this is even automated, so you don't even have to think about it. So imagine if, sorry, I don't know why my watch is making noises this morning, and take it off so it stops that. Imagine if you could create routines that you don't have to even think about that actually work for you. Okay. So an unvarying and constantly repeated formula, as of speech or action, convenient or predictable response. So imagine if you could create in your life, because, your business success will always have something to do with your personal life as well. People who think that they don't go intertwined are very much mistaken. You must create routine, structure in your personal life that will enable you to then show up into your business in the best way possible. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at unvarying, consistently repeated formula to get you where you want to be. And it becomes autopilot. A routine is something that is done without you having to think about it. It's part of your comfort zone. It's something that's easy for you. Okay, so now at 10 a.m., every single Monday morning, this is part of my routine, doing my Monday morning musing webinars. Okay, so why do you need routines? Here's a few reasons as to why you need them. It's really important that you understand that having routines, the unconscious mind loves routine. So, being part of the human race, being a human, you have to have some forms of routine because it makes you feel better. So it makes you feel like you're in control. Now, I'm not one for being in control as such and controlling everything you do. But if you take charge of your day, if you know what's going to happen, it makes you feel like you are in control. So really, really important that you know what's going to happen in your day, that you create some routines that you do on a regular basis, because it makes you feel really good. And you know what? Occasionally things do go awry and you cannot follow these routines. But the more you are in routine, when something goes wrong, the more adaptable you actually are. It helps with your stress levels because you know what you're doing, you know what's expected of you every day, and your stress levels and anxiety for that fact go down. In actual fact, one of the things when you look at some mental illness and things like that, anxiety, depression, one of the things that Beyond Blue and Headspace and all that recommend is to actually create some routines around your life because it helps with your stress levels. You get more done because through planning, because you know what you're doing in your day, you know the things that you need to do in your business, you plan them, you actually pop them into your planner. We spoke a little bit about this in the last few weeks on Monday morning Musing webinars, but you actually pop things into your planner that you're going to do, and it actually allows you to get more things done. Okay, gives you a great sense of confidence. There is nothing better than to be on a client call or to be doing your job, whatever it is for you, and feeling confident about it because you feel like you're in charge of your day, your stress levels are down, you've planned everything out, you know what you're doing, and it does raise your confidence levels. And one of the things that I talk about business owners all the time is that, especially when you are in a service industry business, okay, this does relate to products as well, but especially in a service industry business, you are the face of your business. Oh, we've got a very loud cockatoo out there this morning. Excuse me. You are the face of your business. So the more confident you are, the more in charge you feel, the more planning you do, the more likely that you will show up in your business in a very resourceful way, which will allow you to show up for your clients in a much more resourceful way. Hi, Jody. So let me know if anyone has any questions, what you think. I'd love to know any aha moments that you're having when you're going through this. So what you have to understand, and one of the things that people don't often realize, is that you are the face of your business. And if you're stressed because you've got no planning done, you've got no routines, you don't know what you're doing when you wake up in the morning, and everything's done haphazardly, your clients will feel that. Okay, so it's really important that you understand that. Allows you to make time for what matters. So by planning and creating routines, it allows you to make time for what matters. So for instance, one of my routines that I started last year, didn't go too well, but we've adapted it again for this year, is going to the gym. So I have my time at the gym planned. It's important to me, so it's one of the first things that goes into my planner every week. It's planned out. It's making time for what matters to me. And then I work my business around it. And what happens is I feel more confident. I feel more in charge. It helps with my stress levels. So they all intertwine, and I get something done that's important to me. Imagine if I got up in the morning and thought, oh, I'll get to gym whenever I have time today. It will never happen. Okay, so it's really important. This is why we need to plan and set out routines that we want to make the most of our day. Okay, and it creates certainty. I don't know if you guys have heard of the 6 core needs. There's something that are being adapted by Tony Robbins, and we have 6 core needs. And the number 1 core need is certainty. A human needs certainty. You need to know what's happening to a degree. Now, you don't want to go overboard and be completely in control that things can't change And, you know, when things do not go the right way, that you actually, you know, fall apart because you can't pivot or be flexible, but you need a certain degree of certainty in your life. So routines are an absolute must for you to feel, you know, a little bit better about yourself, to feel that you are in charge of what you're doing every day. And Brendan Burchard always says that, you know, one of the biggest contributing factors to why he was so successful is that he created routines. And the first 2 hours of every morning, he leaves those 2 hours for himself. He takes charge of his day. He gets up, he does some stretching and, you know, fitness work, and then he meditates, and I can't remember exactly what he does, but then he, you know, he sits down once he's done those 2 hours, and then he'll look through his emails, and he's got this all planned. And he said that that was one of the reasons why he became so successful. So routines are absolutely imperative to the success of your business, as well as yourself, and feeling better about yourself. And having a degree of certainty helps your unconscious mind calm down. Like I said before, the unconscious mind needs to know constantly what's going to happen. It just needs to know. It does not like uncertainty. So if you create a certain amount of certainty, so I'm not saying, you know, every single little detail. I used to be one of those have to be in control people. So it's not necessarily every little detail, but the big portions of your day. If you create some really good routines, when something goes wrong, you're better equipped to cope with it. So let me know if that's making sense, guys. And I'm going to explain to you the science behind this. Oh, this slide, when I've opened it up, is a little bit foggy, but we actually have 3 brains. If anyone wants to know a little bit more about this, this is comes from the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has got an amazing documentary series on Gaia TV if you want to have a look at this. But we actually have 3 brains. The biggest part is what we call the neocortex, the gray matter of the brain. And this is your rational thinking brain. This is the brain that you think with. This is the brain, you know, that you make pretty much make decisions, and is very the one that, you know, you do all your thinking, all those thoughts that you have, whether they're good or bad, come from. Okay, and it's the biggest portion of your brain. The next bit is the limbic brain, which is your emotional or feeling brain. Okay, and that sort of sits in this area here. And the last part, which sits right at the back of your head, is called the reptilian brain, which is the instinctual or the dinosaur brain. Dr. Joe Dispenza says that by the age of 35, that reptilian brain is set, and that we have, our personality has been set and has been molded. Now, this does not mean that you cannot change that. You absolutely can. And one of the ways that you can change it is through routine. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea. So there people, either if you're on Facebook or if you are here on the Zoom, please ask me any questions that you might have about this. So what happens is, how do you know to be you? Okay, and that's what the reptilian brain is all about. How do you know to get up in the morning and do the things that you do habitually, and be who you are, and talk a certain way and move a certain way? That comes from your reptilian brain. So how do we develop that? And the way this is developed is actually the way we change it as well. So what happens is, the minute you wake up in the morning, you will have a thought. Okay, and one of the things that I constantly do with my clients is catch your first waking thought. You might be surprised. So you will have a thought. That thought creates a chemical reaction in your body. That chemical reaction in your body, right, whatever chemicals are excreted for you, which is uniquely your chemical reaction in your body, that then travels up through the blood system to that limbic brain. It is at this point that the limbic brain sort of analyzes that chemical reaction and says, yep, that is me. And then the reptilian brain kicks in and you become you. Okay, you become your personality, the person who you are, the person that you have been for many, many years of your life. Okay, so in order to be able to change that, if you cannot create a routine in your life, if you're struggling with something that just is not resourceful for you, the way you change it is by having a different thought. And yes, it will create a different chemical reaction in your body. So what happens is, and this is why people give up so quick, this is why people don't begin to create routines and last for 7 days. You know, one of the best ways with this is eating. You know, if people have emotional eating or they have bad eating habits, they do it for 7 days and they go back, because when that emotional response happens in your body from you thinking differently, goes up to the limbic brain. The limbic brain says, this is not me. It analyzes those chemicals and says, this is not me. So it becomes uncomfortable. And this is what we talk about, pushing through the comfort zone. When you do something different, it will not be comfortable for you. So you have to push. And usually what I have found in my personal experience is that the harder it is to push, the bigger the change will be. But if you keep thinking that way, keep pushing through that comfort zone, okay? So you keep thinking that certain way and you keep pushing through that comfort zone and you act differently, despite the uncomfortableness of it not being you, of not having this routine as part of who you are, that will eventually become who you are. So you have to think different. You need to act different. You need to embody this new routine that you're doing. And, you know, for some people, I know people say it takes 21 days, but sometimes it has been my experience with myself and with clients that it takes more than 21 days to become the new you. So I'm going to give you some hints on how to do this the easiest way that I have personally found to be able to establish and create new routines. I know that usually for the first 7 to 14 days, when I create a new routine, depending on what it is, and not all routines are going to be as hard as others. So depending on what the routine is, it takes me sometimes 2 to 3 months to actually completely become this new personality, this new trait, this new routine that I have tried to put within my psyche. Okay, so really important. Please, there are quite a few of you on here with me today. If you have any questions, please ask. So creating routines, one of the biggest things I need to say is only change 1 to 2 things max at a time. One of the reasons why people, they set goals, they make resolutions, they start trying to form new habits, is because they try to do everything at once. It's not going to work, okay? Because remember, the unconscious mind likes routine. The unconscious mind and that limbic brain fight because they don't know something different. They only know what they're used to. So if you do something different, it's going to react. So if you change too many things, there's going to be too much chemical reactions happening in your body that are not what you're used to. And of course, it's going to be harder for you. So one thing at a time, that's what I do. Okay, one little thing at the time. At the moment, my one thing now, and it's starting, I can see, because now it actually becomes conscious for me, and I think I haven't drunk enough water today. One of the problems, one of the biggest things that I don't do for myself, and remember, business, you will show up in business to the best you can if your personal routines are up to scratch, if you're looking after yourself first. We're going to talk about creating some business routines as well. But I want you to really understand that you have to look after yourself first, and then you will show up to your business a much better person, and the business routines that you create will become much better. You'll become much better at them. But you must, if you're not feeding yourself properly, if you're not hydrating yourself properly, if you're not taking enough rest, if you're not stretching in between breaks, I've spoken about all of this in other Monday morning webinars, you will not show up to your business properly. Okay, so one thing at a time. Like I said, at the moment, mine is to drink my 6 to 8 glasses of water, and I've been pushing through this because I haven't been doing it. That now I actually think I haven't had enough to drink. So eventually it starts to become who you are, and hopefully that is all I'm focusing on at the moment now, is just getting my water every day to help me hydrate for my health benefits, to show up to the best person I can. So only one thing at a time. If you try too many things, your unconscious mind's going to absolutely freak out. There's no other way to say it, and that's why people do not succeed. So slowly but surely, it's the tortoise and the hare race here. Be the tortoise. So here's a couple of ways that you can create routines, both personally and in your business. Plan activities and stick to them. Okay, so like I said before, Brendan Burchard, and now something that I have actually adopted from after listening to him, and in his book, the activities of high performance. I can't even remember what the name of the book is, but his book tells you that one of the things that he does 2 hours from when he wakes up is to be all about himself. And then what I do is, between 9 and 10, I don't see clients before 10. So between 9 and 10, that is my time to check my emails, to make sure I know what's happening in my day. It is my time to, to make any phone calls that I can. If not, I've got phone calls planned in for later during the day. It's my time between 9 and 10 to just do all the activities that I need to, some social media stuff, and I plan it and I stick to it. So at 10 o'clock, I stop doing that, regardless of, whether I have a client, or I'm, just doing something else, or I just go on a little break if I don't have a client, or whatever it is, or I have a webinar like this morning. I plan between 9 and 10. At 10 o'clock, I stop. High performance habits. Thanks, Naomi. That's what I'm trying to think. I was trying to look up to see if I could see the book, because I have got it. So plan your activities and stick to them. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to keep doing this because I've got time, or, oh, I finished this, so now I'm going to start something else. Plan your activities, create a routine. It becomes who you are habitually. And you know what happens? The thing is that when you wake up in the morning, one of the things that I used to do when I used to wake up in the morning is I used to freak out. Oh my God, I've got all these emails and all these things I've got to check through. And I would freak out about it. Whereas now I know that at 9 o'clock is my time for that. And I actually feel quite calm and feel more at ease doing what I want to do for myself for the first 2 hours. Okay, create your priorities. We said this before, and this goes for your business as well. What are your priorities in your business? What do you need to do first? And I have actually got a video on YouTube which is about setting your priorities for your business. So you need to create your priorities. What do you need to do first? One of the first things that I do in my business every day is have a look at social media. Not because I'm addicted to social media, because that is where my clients come from. So my main priority when it comes to my social media is that I look to see what's going on with clients, what do I have to do for my social media, because that is my focus on achieving new clients. Okay, so create your priorities. Again, stick to them. The most important thing you need to do first. And last week we spoke about usually also too, if you don't like, there's things in your business that you don't like to do, you should do them first thing in the morning, because that's when you've got the most energy. So go to bed at the same time. This is so important. This is so important. If you want to show up being the best person you can in your business, you need to go to bed and get enough sleep, and you need to go to bed at the same time. See, this is something that doesn't make massive differences in the sense of, it's not going to change how you, what you do in your business or what happens during the day, but if you go to bed at the same time, it's just giving you a basis or something that's familiar to the unconscious mind that you do all the time, so that when something does go wrong, or when you have to break a routine, you're still giving your unconscious mind some sort of routines. And one of the ones that you can do easily is go to bed at the same time. I do understand that if you have small children, because someone asked me this, it can sometimes be difficult, but stick to this the best way you can. So going to bed at the same time is a constant that you can give your unconscious mind to make it feel better for when you do things differently. One of the things that I implemented was, there are certain things that I can absolutely do every single day unless something drastic happens, but I can do pretty much every single day so that my unconscious mind feels a lot more comfortable. And going to bed at the same time, and that's supposed to say getting up each day at the same time, are two constants that I give my unconscious mind. Okay, so that when I do give it something that is not part of who I am, not part of my personality, not a routine for me, it doesn't fight so much. But if I'm getting up or going to bed at all different hours all the time, the unconscious mind starts to just freak out. It's like, this, who am I? And that reptilian part of your brain doesn't create that routine. And that's where you have to get your routines, into that reptilian part of the brain and the limbic brain. And the less stress you give your limbic brain, the more likely that when you decide to do something different, it will accept it a lot easier. Okay. So set up the first hours of your day and the last hours of your night for you. Okay, set up the first few hours of your day for you to create habits, routines for you, and the nighttime as well. A lot of people think about the morning and forget about the nighttime. If you want to have a really good night's sleep, if you want your unconscious mind to feel comfortable, journal at the end of the night, or journaling is good because it gets it all out, and you actually end up having a better night's sleep, because the unconscious mind, what you do when you're dreaming or not sleeping during the night, is that the unconscious mind is trying to make you aware of something. So by journaling, you become aware of it just through automatic writing and journaling and writing down your thoughts, and the unconscious mind thinks, well, I don't have to dream about that, or I don't have to wake her up in the middle of the night about that because she's already got it. So once you are comfortable with a particular routine, introduce your next one. So when we start looking at your business, and this is where it's really important, ask yourself, what is it that I need to do every day to make my business successful? One of the biggest questions that I have when it comes to my clients when they join my Passion to Profit program is that they need to create consistency on their social media, and things like, doing live videos, things like doing consistent posting, all those sorts of things. So that's usually the first thing that they have to do. But I want you to think about, what is just one thing that you need to do consistently for the next 21 days that will help you build your business. Now, it could also be just planning, just actually grabbing your planner and writing in your planner what you have to do every day. It could be things like just sitting at your desk for 10 minutes every morning to look at what's happening in the rest of your day to make you feel better. And once then that becomes a habit, it's something that you do instinctively without thinking about it, And, you know, it's something that you feel that you need to do, because that's what happens when you create a routine. It is something that you feel you need to do. And the unconscious mind is programmed to always want more and more. So if it likes something and it becomes part of your reptilian brain and who you are, you will do it without even thinking. It's like brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth has become an habitual thing that you do since you were a child. So, you know, you wake up in the morning, you know, you have a shower, whatever it is, the routine for you, and you brush your teeth, and the same thing at night before you go to bed, you brush your teeth. And this works the same way. So have a look at what it is, the one thing, just one thing that you can do right away to improve your routines. And then once that's been implemented, do the next one and do the next one. If they're little ones, you can do two, but I would highly recommend just one thing and continue at it. Don't, I've seen people, what they do is they have a routine for a week and then they keep doing that routine and they introduce another one. I'm going to sit here and say that I would prefer, my preference again, that you create a routine, and then once you're comfortable, once it's part of who you are, once it becomes part of your personality, then you introduce the next one. Okay, because usually what happens for the first week to 2 weeks, you will be doing it anyway and it's okay. And usually around that 14-week period is when things start to go awry. So you need to do it for a minimum of 21 days to a month. And if it, then you notice that this has become, you know, part of who you are, you don't even have to think about it, introduce your next one. So I'd love to know what you guys think about all of that. And if you've got any routines, I'd love to know what your routines you're going to come up with in this next month. And celebrate small victories, okay? When you do get something done, when you do achieve something that's resourceful, celebrate. We often always think about everything that we haven't done, everything that we still have to do, and we don't celebrate the things that you've done. So if you know, get up tomorrow morning and one of your things is that you just have to sit for 10 minutes and look through your planner to see what your day schedule is. Well, once you've done that, say, yes, I've done it, celebrate. The unconscious mind loves to, that feeling, you know, then you get your unconscious mind involved in the feeling of that euphoric feeling of celebrating the win, and it will want more and more. And the last one is, have fun doing this. Don't make this a chore, have fun. And if one day you don't do it, you know, have a laugh and go, okay, and then go back to remembering your why you're doing that routine. Remembering your why for anything is a great way to keep you motivated. So if you find you're going into that, you know, the second week and you're trying to create a routine and you're not feeling motivated, go make it fun. Think about, how can I make this fun? And then the other thing is, remember your why. Why are you doing it? And just sit for a moment or two and just allow yourself to remember why you started it and to bring those feelings back up in your body, because that is what we need to engage to create new routines. It's the unconscious mind, that limbic brain, those feelings, those emotions. They are what run our routines. So if you can get that feeling, remember that feeling of why you started this habit in the first place, it will help you stay motivated. So that's it for me today, guys. I always say I'm going to be on time and I'll run out. As I say every week, please, you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Would anyone would like to chat to me about any of this, please reach out. Love to have a chat with you. And anyone who wants to know a little bit about my NLP, timeline therapy, hypnosis, coaching, or meditation trainings that I have going this year, please reach out. Or if you want to know more, my pleasure, Naomi, about my business mentoring, again, please reach out. And I'd love to have a chat with you to see what we can do with the all of my mentoring. We don't just work on strategy, we work on mindset and some of the things that you hear me talk about here every week. Thanks for being here, guys. Now, just quickly, I'm not going to be here next week. I am going on a mini break, and next week I'm not going to be home to be able to do this. And I was thinking about it, and then I thought it's going to probably be a little bit difficult for me to do this away from my house. So next week, but we're off for Monday morning musing webinar. Hopefully I'll jump on and do just maybe a live on my Facebook page, but I will be back the week after. So thank you for being here, guys. I really do appreciate you being here every week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great couple of weeks, everyone, and I will see you. It'll be February by the time I'm back. So bye for now, guys.